So Joe keeps his Thai basil tucked away in between everything right here. And he's going to be here with us in a few moments to talk about his Thai basil.
I like Thai basil. It's very drought tolerant. Smells great. Helps keep mosquitoes away. When you're pruning it, just make sure that you take it from all the different areas,
Why is that, Joey?
because you want nice, even growth return.
Oh, Joey
As
has...
we prune it, it will get bushier, and it grows back pretty quickly. You don't want to decimate it. Is that enough?
Yes.
All
Wait,
right.
actually, no.
More?
You know, I need a little more.
All right.
I'm making a lot tonight, a lot of food tonight for the three of us. And you know how you and Mello eat. Thank you, Joey, for this little Thai basil lesson. We're gonna enjoy tonight's meal. I love having our own herbs and spices.
Don't be alarmed. This is what a properly conditioned carbon steel wok should look like. So if you buy one, and if you like food, you should. Just read the directions and cure it properly, and never wash it with soap.
So I'm getting ready to make tonight's dinner, which is spicy Thai basil chicken. I just like to marinate my chicken in a little bit of the sauce, so that's what I did with mine. These are chicken tenderloin cutlets diced into little squares. That's yummy. It smells so good. Just a highlight, I'll tell you a little bit more about the ingredients in a bit. And I'll be making this with some rice. I might have to take this one and give Mello the other one. Yeah, I think I'm gonna take this one. All right, that's the egg. Now for the best part. Now I'm gonna turn the stove down a little bit because this is gonna let out a lot of flavors and aromas and spices. Hopefully it doesn't make me start coughing, because this is a lot of pepper. But we like it spicy in this house, so we're gonna keep it that way. Oh, that smells so good. Guys, I wish this was scratch and sniff, where you guys could smell all those aromas. And as I said, I turned the stove down a little bit because I really don't want it to burn too much. But what you're doing is just releasing all the flavors of the garlic and the pepper together. And then, next thing you're gonna add to that is your chicken. So, here we go. Once the chicken goes in, you could put the heat back up a little bit more. Now, if you're doing tofu, you don't want to make it too high because it's not exactly like the chicken. Turn that up a little bit. Well, next, here we go. We're gonna blend the chicken in along with spices. Now remember, turn it down when you do the spices. I took a little bit too long, but don't do everything I do the same exact way. Haha. But it didn't burn, so that's good. So you turn it down when you're doing the spices. Yeah, I probably should turn down a little bit more with the eggs, but I just like when it has that brown edges to it and the brown on it. It's like all crispy and it tastes so good. And Joe and Mello don't mind it either because the egg is still nice on the inside. But you cook your egg any way you want it. You could even make it in a separate pot. You could do it afterwards. It doesn't even matter. Little regular soy sauce, well, low sodium soy sauce, for a little bit, for a few hours after I cut it up and washed it with my vinegar and washed it again. I marinated it for a little bit because that's just, you don't have to, that's just what I do. And we're gonna let this chicken cook some. And we'll be right back. Okay, so now that we have the chicken cooked a little bit and we have some juices, we're gonna go ahead and add the rest of the stuff like the soy sauce, the sugar, and the basil at the end, okay? So first I'm gonna do a little light soy sauce. That's your low sodium. Then we have our oyster sauce. It's our oyster sauce. And listen, I'll give you the measurements. However, I doubled mine today because I have almost 4 pounds of meat here. Because I have 2 people that eat a lot in my house, especially when it comes to meals like this. So, oh, these sauces are so good. I didn't put too much. I won't put too much sugar. All right, so, and I'm going to blend this together. Let's get it going. All right. What I'm going to do is I'm going to blend this in together, and I'm going to get the sauce to get a little thicker. Now, one of the things I normally do is once it cooks a little bit, I taste test my food. I know everybody does. And what you might want to do, is just test it for flavor. And you can always add a little more to whatever. If you feel like it's not enough flavor, you can always add a little more. Me personally, I know I probably add a little more after it's cooked down a little bit. I'll probably add a little more of each sauce to it, just to make sure it has the right amount of flavor that I expect to have. All right, so we're gonna let that blend in together and blend well. All right, it's well blended now. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna turn the stove off, because you turn the stove off and then you add your Thai basil. Now this recipe called for something called holy Thai basil. I haven't been able to find that yet, but this basil works just fine.
I said a prayer over the basil. It's holy now.
This is what I do. Pour that in. And then I'm going to stir it in there. Stir it in there. There you go. Get it all blended together. For my basil lovers, hey, listen, you add as much basil as you want to and enjoy it. I have a little leftover basil fresh that I'm gonna put on top as well for when I'm ready to eat my food. So this is pretty much done. I did taste it and it is spicy because I doubled my recipe due to the amount of the chicken I had. So, but I'm sure it's going to be quite delicious either way.